So as you can tell from the title, yes, I bought something, and yes, it's terrifying. So this right here is my 1974 Porsche 911 Coupe. Yes, that's right, it has a hard top, and it has a sunroof. But why a 911 though? Why a 911? I'm sorry. You're gonna hear cars. You're gonna hear cars passing by throughout the video. There's nothing I can do about that. I'll just try and hopefully you guys can hear me. So why a 911? I've always wanted the 911. I've always wanted just the 930 style, the older style 911. I don't know why. I've always liked them. I've played them throughout my life in racing games. My dad actually had one back probably 15 years ago. He had a 911, just like that bad boy. And just the car that I've always wanted. It's a car that I've always liked. And now that I own one, it scares the shit out of me. I mean, mainly just this one. So we're gonna find out why it's so scary, so terrifying. So here we go. Just a perfectly normal looking 911, right? Wrong. So this one obviously has been modified. It's got fender flares. Yeah, I wouldn't say a wide body, just fender flares. That is accommodated by slightly wider tires, wider wheels and tires. These are 3-piece BBS wheels. I'm not 100% sure on what model they are. They're not LMs. I don't know what model BBS is, but they are actual 3-piece wheels. Wrapped in some Toyo proxies. So, nice wide body 911. No big deal, right? Well, the problem is that I didn't do any of the work to this car. I gotta state, I didn't do any of the work to this car. If I did the work, I'd probably do it a lot better. So yeah, the car needs work. Yeah. So right here is the back wheel, the back flare, and right there is a nice crack in the fiberglass. These this whole like fender is fiberglass, and then it's cracked there, it's cracked here, and cracked right there. It's hard to see on camera. And then you can also see, I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Yeah, you can. These little rivet holes. You can tell where the flare was put in, the fender was put in at. And then on the other side, yeah, chipping right there. The paint job obviously wasn't done very correctly, I would say. And then this flare kind of just can pop off because they use the rivets. And then this, a little bit of Nash right there. But I mean, overall, the body's not horrible. It's just kind of the flares aren't the best in the back. The fronts are fine, no issues there. And there's a little crack on the side skirt right there. So the body needs some work. This is stuff I plan on fixing, probably not right away. I have bigger plans that are more immediate than the body. We'll get to that at a later date. I'll reveal what I'm doing to the car. But for right now, let's take a look at the junkyard 350 sitting in the back of this thing. So if we come over to the hood trunk here and lift this bad boy up, yeah, that right there is where dreams are made, brother. Hell yeah. Okay, now that the trunk, now that the hood trunk is popped, yeah, so this is where dreams are made. This is I want to say like a mid 80s, pre-mid 80s Corvette engine. It's a small block Chevy, small block 350, V8. Yeah, where do we start? Okay, so, see right there, she's got an Edelbrock carb, and let me tell you, it runs like shit. That carb needs some tuning, because it runs really bad. So I spent all this money and bought an air-cooled Porsche that doesn't have an air-cooled Porsche engine in it. What the hell is wrong with me? Well, there's a reason why I didn't. This is a car I was going to modify. I planned on modifying this car anyway, so I kind of wanted something that was already modified. Something that I didn't want to destroy a nice stock example of a 911. I'd feel bad doing that. So, I mean, these cars are, so these cars are kind of a dime a dozen, They're a rarer car now. I didn't want to go and destroy a stock one. I just wanted to destroy one that's already been destroyed, and that's what I'm doing now. So yes, it's got a small block V8 in it. Will it stay a small block V8? No. No, it will not. I want to put something modern in there. I want to put like a modern engine in it. I don't really have anything against the small block Chevy. Just that it runs like shit. That could all be changed though. I mean, that could be fixed, but I just want something with a little bit more modernness to it. And personally, I do not like carburetors. They kind of suck, but I want something that has electronic fuel injection and just a modern engine. What's that engine gonna be? I'm not gonna tell you yet. So I said it was terrifying, and that's not because it's got a V8 in it. The engine in it doesn't make really any power. It's like a mid-70s and 80s oil crisis V8 from a Corvette. No, the reason why it's terrifying is because I bought a modified Porsche that was not modified correctly. And how was it not modified correctly? Well, here we go. We'll start at the front and work our way back. So this is the trunk of the car. That's no longer a trunk. You can't really haul anything in it unless you want it destroyed on the way on the drive. But this is where it begins. Okay, let's start with the battery, because the electrical is fun in this car. All right, so nice old battery, Autocraft battery, so it's from like Advanced Auto or whatever. We'll start there. It's got alligator clips on it, 2 of them. I don't think they're hooked up to anything, but they're there, so that's kind of scary. The wiring in this car is just a nightmare. This is a fuse box, and these are the wires going to and from it, and half these wires are not even connected to anything. And this thing's just a wiring nightmare. It looks like a jumbled mess because it is a jumbled mess. I've got a lot of work to do. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, not only does this look like a mess, it could use some fixing. And when I'm going to do a lot of work to this car, I have a lot of work planned for it, and I'm going to be fixing all of this. It's going to be nice and neat and tidy. For right now, though, a big concern is the wiring. Another concern is all the plumbing for the coolant. Since this is no longer an air-cooled engine, it needs coolant and or water to go to the back of the car into the V8. And that's done through this radiator. It has a little electric water pump on it. And what that does is flows the coolant. There's 2 metal lines under the car, one for the in, one for the return. And it goes from the radiator down the middle of the car into the engine and then back. And so this whole bay needs a cleanup. It's bad. Like, did I mention when I bought this car, it was the cheapest Porsche in America? The cheapest like hardtop in America? I probably should mention that. And there's a reason why it was. But I knew it was going to be a lot of work, and I wanted to make videos on it, so it was kind of perfect, you know. I got a good price for it, for what hardtop coupes go for. For what hardtop coupes with like 60,000 miles on it go for, this was a great price. I got it for, you know, I'm not going to disclose the price, but I got it for a good price. It does need a lot of work though. So, wiring, plumbing, battery, probably an engine bay or trunk bay cleanup. Whole trunk bay cleanup is what it needs. Yeah, so on the front end, what works? So, headlights work, surprisingly. They work decent. Yeah, they work decent, you know. What else works? The turn signals do not work. I have to stick my hand out of the window like an idiot to tell people that I'm turning, so there's that. The fan for the radiator works. Thank God. If it didn't work, I'd overheat in an instant, which this car has its moments. And what else doesn't work? The windshield wipers don't work, partly because there's no motor, or like the motor doesn't work, and then the other part is that there's no windshield wiper. So there's no windshield wipers on the car. Even if there were, the motor doesn't work. So I think the corner lights might work. Let's see if they work. So if you can see that the headlights are on, yeah, you can see that. The headlights are on right now. They work. And then, nope, that corner light's on. You can barely see it, but the corner light is on. If it was dark, you'd be able to see it. So the headlights and the corner lights work. The turn signals don't work. That fan works, the radiator fan. The battery works. I mean, the car starts and everything. I'm able to drive it. Drives okay. So now that we're done with the front of the car, let's move inside the car. So, that was me stepping on something. That's not the door popping. This is somewhat an interior of a 1970s Porsche 911. Don't mind all the wires. Like I said, the car is not wired very well, and I will be redoing all of that. But, oh, ouch. This is a cockpit view. I am like 5'11", and roughly 280 pounds, and yeah. It's a little scrunched in here, but like, it's not bad. It's actually, you know, the inside's not horrible. The doors are kind of small, but the inside's not bad. So, where do we start? What works on the dash? We've got a series of 5 circular gauges, or like bezels, with the gauges in them. And let's go left to right. Left to right, let's go through what works. So, that's the fuel. That's like the oil level. That works. That doesn't work. This is the temp. That's the pressure for oil. Neither of them work. That's an aftermarket autometer, tachometer. That works. That needs adjusting too, because ain't no way this thing revs to $6 grand. That's a 58. That's an autometer tachometer. That's not the stock tach. That works. That's the speedometer, odometer, and everything. None of that works. And that's a clock, which doesn't work. All right. Fasten seatbelt sign doesn't work. Rear defrost doesn't work. Fog lights don't work. Cigarette lighter doesn't work. The glove box works though. The glove box works, so that's good. The mechanical part on the car works. These are gauges, aftermarket. One is for voltage, the other is for coolant temp that is coming to the radiator. Both of those work. The lights don't work. I think these are lights at least. Neither of those work. The shifter works, so that's the shifter. The car has a 915, a Porsche 915 transmission. That's just the style transmission that was in the 911s. It's got one from an 86, is what I was told. I do not know if that's true or not. That works though, so that's good. I can shift the car. It's a 5-speed, and quick fact, it's in first gear right now, but the bushing's really bad in it. This is such a sloppy shifter. I need to change this out, but I can literally, it's bad. That's first gear. Then from first, I could literally, since the bushings are bad from first, I can put it like it's in second. It's not in, or third. Yeah, it's bad. I need to fix some stuff on this. That's a hand throttle, actually. Cool thing about the 911s, they had a little hand throttle here. I think it was kind of like a choke. Let me see if I can focus on it. Alright, so that's a hand throttle. I think it might have been like a choke for like cold weather. I'm not sure. Doesn't work, so it doesn't matter. This is the e-brake. The e-brake actually works, but I accidentally drove with the brake up one time, so it no longer, it doesn't work anymore. This is right there. That's exhaust. A defrost from the exhaust. I think it uses like the exhaust gases or something, or like the heat from the exhaust, and can be used as a defrost for the windows, I think, or like just the car. It doesn't matter because it doesn't work. There's a slew of wires. That's all for the radio, which the radio was in. The radio was hooked up actually when I got the car, but it didn't work, so that doesn't work, especially now since the radio is taken out. Alright, what do we got over here? Right there, those are the lights. Pulling it out turns the lights on, twisting it messes with the dash lights. Both of those actually work. That works. That right there is a little vent. Boom, open and then close. That works, and let me tell you, that works really good because this car produces so much heat on the inside. It's not even funny. Right here, this is for the fuel door. You pull it, and your fuel cap opens. So that works. That's the hazard button. That doesn't work. That's the key. So on the 911s, the key is on the left side. And, you know, it works. It'll start the car right now. So this is the passenger side of the car. I took the seat out. And the reason I have the floor mats and everything, multiple floor mats just stacked up here, is because I don't want to tell you what's under that, because that's a problem for future me. You can probably see right there. Ooh. Yeah. We're going to have to do some floor pans on this car. These are the back seats. It's got back seats. They're really small, and they don't stay up. So, I mean, that kind of works. Rear speakers, 1 and 2. Neither of them work. The mirror, that works actually. The sunroof, it's got a sunroof, and the button for the sunroof is right there. That doesn't work though. But just because the button doesn't work doesn't mean I can't use the sunroof, because it literally just slides back and it'll work. So there's that. So, those are the speakers. It's got door speakers. Neither of them work because the radio doesn't work, but I think when the radio's hooked up, they work. And it's got hand crank windows. They work. It's also got a really bad tint job, but we don't talk about that. The doors work, you know. Door locks work, so that's good. All right, stepping out of the car. And to the back. Again, taillights work, you know. Again, the turn signals don't work. The bumper lights, I don't think the bumper lights work for the license plate. The license plate lights, no, those don't work. In here, again, that's where dreams happen. That works. Doesn't work the best, but it works. The carb could use a tuning. The whole engine needs a tune, but it does work. So there's that. That's another temperature gauge. Since it's currently pinging 190 and I haven't started the car at all, it doesn't work. Fuel filter, that works. That all works. All this works. So it's got a whale tail. So my favorite thing about these cars has to be the obnoxiously huge whale tail on the back. God, how could you not like that? I mean, whew, man, that just gets you. Look at that. That'll let you know, like, damn, it's a Porsche. It's my Porsche, and like, I can say that, and even though, you know, it's kind of a piece of poop, it's my dang Porsche, and I'll make it better. So, I guess we'll try and start it. I don't know if it's going to start, because it seems like it has a low battery. But we'll try and start it, so let's do that. I just spent like 20 minutes getting that damn battery changed out because it was dead, but there she is out in the sun in all her glory. Yeah. So I'm drenched in sweat, but let's go get more sweaty driving the car because the car just produces so much heat. But let's go drive the car, and yeah, you'll see what it's all about. You'll see why I like it. All right, so I got the GoPro set up, so hopefully it cooperates with me. Let's roll up this window. I'm gonna die, but all right. Hopefully you can hear me. I got the GoPro set up, and as you can see, we're on the road. Yeah. So, what is it like to drive a 1970s Porsche 911 with a V8? Well, meh. You know. You think of the 911, you think of such a great handling car, and I gotta be honest, I had a 1990s Honda 10 times better than this thing. Absolutely no pickup to it. The car doesn't like have any pickup, and then after like 4,500 RPM, it feels like it just falls on its face. It's a Corvette swap 911. That don't mean anything though. The engine's slow, the transmission's sloppy, but it feels ratty. But you know, I like it. It's just, it's me. I like it. Plus the car, literally anywhere I go, the car gets looks. Everyone just turns their head. Hey, look, it's a 911. You know? Like, right before I started recording, some of the neighbors from a shop over on the other side of the place I'm at, they came up and they were wondering what year it is. I'm like, it's a 74. You know? They were staring at me the whole time when I left. So it's a car that turns heads, but it's also a car I enjoy, even though it needs a lot of work. It's not the cleanest one, not the best running one, but it's mine. It's my Porsche. No matter how crappy it is, it's mine. I like it. A little bit hard to find the gears in this car when you can go to every gear from whatever one you're in. The bushings are so worn on the shifter. It needs something done for the shifter. It's so bad. Well, the worst thing is that if you're going on a fifth, the shifter's so worn that there's no reverse lockout. So if you're not careful, you'll grind reverse going on a fifth. That's just a fun car, though. It's fun to hoon around. It's fun to just go fast, and even though you're not going fast, but you think you're going fast. It feels like you're going fast. But in relativity, it's probably got the acceleration of like a mid-90s minivan. It's bad. Just close the roof here. Definitely a fun car, though. I even though it's like a piece of poop, it's my piece of poop. I like it. No, it's not the fastest or the best handling or the best looking. I'm gonna turn it into my car, though. You know, it's gonna be something that's me. I got a lot of plans for it. So if you're excited for the build, okay, so I'm in my Focus now. Closing out the video. That was my V8 swapped Porsche 911. Yeah, it needs some work. Definitely needs some work. The body, the electrical, definitely, and the engine. We need to get rid of that V8. You know, I got nothing horribly against a small block Chevy, but it's just not my style. I like V8s, but I don't like, not in a 911. I don't think a V8 should go in a 9. Well, no, I don't. Personally, I don't like the V8 in the 911. I'm gonna go with something else, and you'll find out what that is if you stay tuned. We're gonna get some videos out working on this car. It needs a lot of work, so I'm gonna throw a lot of work at it. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy. Comment, what do you think of the car? Am I stupid for buying it? Did I pay too much money? I paid, you know, it wasn't a cheap car, but I got it for a good price. Did I pay too much money for it? Does it need too much work? What do you think? What are your thoughts? If you want to see more on it, subscribe, you know, or not. I mean, it's up to you. Now, if you do want to see more, though, subscribe, and then like the video if you liked it. Like it if you think it's a cool car. Don't dislike the video. That sucks. Don't do that. But now, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.